Hey, this is Toby. In this video I'm going to shape a pair of slopers. This is the follow-up of my previous video where I prepared and glued these boards together. In the first step I cut out the rough shape on the bandsaw. The thinner lines in the center of the hold represent contour lines. But as you can probably already tell, I won't be able to achieve exactly this shape because the top boards are not wide enough. The belt sander is useful to clean up the cutting marks, and it also helps to match the two shapes, because this is going to be a symmetrical pair of climbing holes. Each hold is going to have one hole for a 10mm countersunk bolt and 3 holes for countersunk screws. After using all sorts of drill bits over the years, I appreciate using high quality. With this set you can use one countersink bit for different sized drill bits. I always find it useful to mark out where I want to remove material next. This helps me step by step to realize the idea that I have in my head. Making these larger angled cuts on the bandsaw is a little bit tricky. I always try to push straight towards the blade with a push stick, but once you're slightly off, it's very hard to realign your cut. And sometimes this happens. Everyone who has used a bandsaw probably knows how annoying this can be, especially if you want to finish a project. I kept the footage of the change of the bandsaw blade in this edit because something funny is going to happen. All the bandsaws I've been using in the past had the table on the right side. This is why I was used to insert the blade in a certain orientation. Even when I filmed the blade guard, I did not notice that the teeth were pointing upwards. I just put everything back together and tried to cut with it. The interesting part for me is that I didn't notice it at all. I always try to stay 100% focused to stay safe, especially when recording. But I guess this was not safety relevant, which is why I missed it. I would love to know from you guys if you ever made a funny, stupid mistake in the workshop. Let's start with the power carving. For those of you who are new to my channel, I will link one of the videos above where I explain all the tools that I use. At this point, I had already made the decision that I would not follow the contour lines as a guide. Otherwise the hold would have ended up to be not positive enough. But I did set myself one constraint. I did not want to reduce the maximum thickness of the final hold. This meant that I had to remove more material on the side of the hold, which changed the outline of it. I think I already mentioned in my previous video that the shaping part is the part that I enjoy doing the most. I think one of the main reasons is the flow state when you get fully immersed in shaping. But this also makes it tricky for me to fully describe what I'm doing. In one of my future videos, I would like to cover the topic shaping and how to come up with shapes. I'm probably going to approach this topic in 2 different ways. On the one hand, I would like to cover the basic climbing hold shapes and rank how hard it is to create certain features out of wood. On the other hand, I want to share how my own shapes developed over time, and by comparing them to the works of other shapers, I want to deduce some general rules. Please feel free to drop a comment below if you have any further idea what I should cover in such a video. Right now I'm also working on a couple of other video projects. One of the videos will cover how to make a hangboard, or rather how not to make a hangboard. I had to learn it the hard way. Another video will cover how to mill wooden climbing holes on a CNC milling machine. I promised to make this video years ago, so sorry if you've been waiting for that. And the last video project in the pipeline right now will cover different home climbing wall and finger strength training setups. I have built and used various setups over the years, so I want to summarize what I've learned and talk you through the pros and cons of the different setups. Let's get back to the video. A little bit more hand sanding and then some more polishing. I really enjoy making the larger holes because you can use the 150mm sanding and polishing pads right until the end. But for certain steps, the best tools are still our hands. In this last step, I define the grip area by adding deeper grooves with coarse sandpaper. And the best tool for quality control, again, our hands. Here a close-up, you can definitely tell the difference between the grip area, defined by its grooves, and the polished top surface. So there's only one more thing. I have to shape another hold. And you might remember, I changed the outline quite a bit by removing a lot of material, so I have to copy this first. But I will spare you most of the other steps, and I will jump straight to the finished hold. The most important part when it comes to making symmetrical pairs of wooden climbing holes is to replicate the grip area. I always compare them during the shaping process. This is only the final quality control. Looks good to me. There was only one thing I wasn't happy with. If you compare the contour lines of the two holes created by the top boards, you will notice that they aren't symmetrical. So I had to go the extra mile and change that. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe you've learned something. You can also check out my work on Instagram at Wurft Tobias, or you can check out my website wurft.com. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.